Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a Disney World trip Q&A video. I'm going to answer all you guys' questions about my most recent trip to Disney World and just Disney World in general, and it's going to be so much fun. So if you're new around here, hi, I'm Mackenzie. I love making Disney World trip videos here on YouTube. I just recently went to Disney World with my sister to celebrate her birthday, to celebrate Christmas. I'm going to link those vlogs up above because they were so much fun to do and so much fun to edit and just share with you guys, and I think you can see how much fun we had in those vlogs. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the questions. You guys absolutely delivered on these questions. I had so many, not just about this trip, but just about Disney World in general, so I'm kind of splitting it up. I'm going to start with the trip specific ones first, and then we'll move into just random fun Disney World questions too. So first question is, was the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party all that you hoped it would be? I would say yes. Madison and I went the first Friday in December, so we were a little worried that crowds were going to be kind of crazy, but we did not have that problem at all. We were able to do everything we wanted. We got on so many rides, so many snacks were eaten. We got a really good spot for the fireworks in the parade. The only thing we weren't able to do was the Space Mountain Holiday Overlay, and that wasn't because of the party being crowded. It was because the ride kept breaking down so often, so anytime it would open back up, the line would be really long. But we just prioritized other things. We had a really good time. I felt like we definitely got our money's worth out of the party. We were only in Magic Kingdom for the party hours this trip, and we did everything we wanted to do and more, so we were very happy with the party and we will definitely do it again. Next question is, compared to the other value resorts, what makes Pop your favorite? Pop is definitely my favorite because of the Skyliner. Like, you can't beat that extra access to transportation that Pop Century gives you as a value resort. I also just really love the theming of Pop. I love the kind of decor of Pop, just the vibe of Pop. It's been one of our favorite resorts anytime we go to Disney World because you get the best value for your money, I think, there. So I absolutely love Pop Century and highly recommend it to anyone. It was perfect for us because we only did Skyliner resorts other than Magic Kingdom, so we went to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. So being able to have the Skyliner there was just great, and it worked out really well for us. Next question is, favorite and least favorite food experience from this trip? So I got a couple other questions about like snacks we tried, so I'll kind of loop that into one. But my favorite dining experience, hands down, was Homecoming at Disney Springs. I'd been there before, I didn't love it, but this time they redeemed themselves. The food was so good, the price was really good. We just had a really good experience there overall, so I would highly recommend checking that out, and I'll link the vlog up above because I talk about it so much. I love that place now. And then if I had to choose, there was no like bad food that we ate, but if I had to choose a restaurant or an experience that was kind of like the lowest on the list that doesn't stand out, it would definitely be Sci-Fi Dine-In at Hollywood Studios. I even said it in the vlog, we don't really go there to have like the best meal ever. We go there to just enjoy the ambiance, like the food's good but not great, and I think that kind of showed when we ate there. But Madison really wanted to go for her birthday, so that's why we did it, and it wasn't a bad meal by any means. It just wasn't the best meal we had this trip. As far as snacks go, again, if you guys saw the Epcot vlog, we did Festival of the Holidays, the food boost. The catfish from the American Pavilion was so good. I am like obsessed with it. It was a great portion size, great price, great flavor. I could go on and on about this catfish. So I really hope they bring it back next year because I really want to have it again because it was that good. And then like a little snacky thing was also at Epcot, which I don't know where Epcot came from with all these good food options, but the cronut from the little Starbucks, like the Connection Starbucks in Epcot, they have the cronut there, and it was so good. The little cinnamon sugar donut. They used to have them like in Epcot and other places, and now they're there, and it was a really good little breakfasty treat that I will definitely have again. Okay, next question is, shout out to all the brands of the cute tees you wore in the parks. So I'll kind of put a picture over here. This one is the Epcot shirt that has Spaceship Earth on it. It is from Main Street Tourist. I absolutely love it. It's comfort colors. And then the other one is the Hollywood Studios, like Sorcerer Mickey on the back, and that is from the Wonder Studio Co., and it's also comfort colors. So I really like those shirts. I got them both in a size large, so they would be a little oversized, and it was the perfect like cozy park tees for those like late night trips to the parks. Absolutely love them. Okay, next question is cost and budget for this trip. For the package of tickets and hotels for both of us, it was $1,447.50. So we each ended up paying $723, and that was for, again, tickets and hotel. I think my budget for this trip was to do everything under $1,500, and I definitely did that. That includes flights, food, everything like that. I think it helps when you're going with someone else. You can kind of split the cost of breakfast and snacks like that. So it saved me a lot of money. But for $1,500, I think it was a really good price, and I really tried to stay in that budget, and I think that's why I did so well with it. Next question is, how did you like the Disney puck on your Apple Watch? Great question. So if you guys don't know, I got a little Magic Band puck holder for my Apple Watch, which basically you take the middle part out of your Magic Band and you put it in like a little holder for your Apple Watch. I loved it. I had a lot of trouble figuring out how to get it from the Magic Band to the puck. That was a lot of work, but once it was there, totally stress-free. I liked not having 2 different bracelets on the whole park day. I just had my watch. I knew when I put it on, my Magic Band puck was there too. The only thing I ran into is when I was charging stuff to like my Magic Band, they would always think I was charging Apple Pay, which I don't really use Apple Pay on my watch, so that was a little confusing, but I just had to remember to be like, oh, it's a Magic Band, and tell them beforehand. So that was the only thing, but it works really well, and I will never go back to the regular Magic Band. I will always be a Magic Band puck girl now. Okay, next trip specific question is, did you do anything new this trip? And we did Moana Journey of Water. I think that was the only like new thing that we've done. It was so good, guys. I absolutely loved it. I think it was very fun, very educational, and I will always go and like walk through it. It can be really quick if you want it to. If you want to really interact and you have little ones, like you could spend a long time in there. I really love that addition to Epcot, and I think it was really fun, and I'm glad we got to do it this trip. Okay, this next one's a really good question. What's one thing you wish you would have packed / taken to the parks that you didn't? I wouldn't have known my answer to this until after Christmas. Bryce's parents got me this portable 3-in-1 charger. It is so cool. They got it on Amazon. It has a place where you can charge your phone, your watch, and your AirPods. I love this because I was struggling on this trip with all the cords I had, especially vlogging the trip. I have a lot of extra cords. So having this, it literally is 1 cord, 1 block, and then the charger that charges everything, and it works really well. I used it when we went to my parents' house. I love that. I'm gonna link it down below because I think traveling, it's so condensed and easy to use. That's something I will bring on every Disney trip here on out, so I'm very excited about that. Okay, last question about this trip was, what was your favorite part of the trip? I have like 2 moments that stand out to me. One is getting to meet my YouTube friend Katie. I think that was so much fun. We've been friends for over a year on YouTube now, and we just ended up going at the same time for our trip. So getting to meet her, hang out with her and her family, I feel like we became real life friends. Shout out to you, Katie, and if you don't already watch her videos on YouTube, I'm linking her channel down below. I love her Disney vlogs. She's one of my favorite Disney vloggers, and y'all need to go check her out. And then the second favorite part of my trip was honestly just getting to spend time with Madison. Us living in different cities now, we don't get to see each other as much as we used to when of course we lived in the same city or even lived in the same house. So really just getting to have that whole weekend with her, celebrate her birthday and celebrate Christmas together was so special and so fun, and we love doing Disney together. It's one of our favorite things to do, so I really enjoyed that part of the trip especially. Okay, now we are moving on to the just Disney World questions. There's a lot of these. I'm gonna try to fly through them, but first question is, do you have a Disney World bucket list, or is there something you have wanted to do but haven't had the time or budget to plan for it? Y'all are gonna make fun of me, but I would say I really want to do the behind the scenes tour at Epcot and Living with the Land. If you don't know, there's a tour that you can tour the greenhouses, like it's a walking tour, and they tell you more about the plants, more about the environments there, and I would just love to do that. It's not that expensive, but I can just never find a time where anyone wants to go with me or like to sneak away and have the time to do that. So I think maybe I'll have to do a solo trip or something to do the behind the scenes tour, or maybe I'll bring Bryce. I think he would really like to do that. We just have to kind of work it into our trip. This next one is another one I got a lot. It is, what is your dream Disney resort? So my dream Disney resort used to always be the Polynesian. Once we stayed there, I was like, confirmed, this is the best resort. I loved it. So I think now a resort I haven't stayed in, I would probably say the Riviera. Just when Madison and I went there last trip to eat lunch, I loved how beautiful it was. There was so much to do outdoors. I think it would be a fun place to stay, having the Skyliner and everything. And then another one that might surprise you, I really want to stay in Wilderness Lodge. I want to take Bryce there because I think he would really love just like the vibe and aesthetic of Wilderness Lodge. Plus just being able to take the boat to the Magic Kingdom and stuff I think would be really fun. So those are my like kind of top 2 right now that I would love to stay in. Okay, next question is, what has been your biggest Disney disappointment or regret? I would definitely say it is not vlogging these trips sooner. I know that sounds kind of silly to say, but I love having these vlogs to look back on, like with my family, with Bryce. It is so much fun just being able to see this like condensed version of our trip and all of our favorite moments like packed in there. I remember trips to Disney when I was little, but we don't have any like video footage of it, and that's something my mom always talks about, is how fun it is to have it now, and she wishes she would have done it back then. So I will forever vlog these trips, even if they're not on YouTube. I just think it's so fun to have them and have these memories to look back on. Next, we have any bucket list Disney parks you want to go to in other countries. Have you started any research into how much you need to save? And I also got a lot of questions about like the Disney cruises, so I'll kind of loop that into one. I think as far as parks in other countries, I would love to go to Disneyland Paris. I've never been to Paris before, so I think it would have to be like a Paris and then a couple days at Disneyland Paris trip, but I would love to go there. I haven't done any research into it at all though. And then as far as Disney cruises go, I don't know why we've never really looked into a Disney cruise. I've never been on a cruise in general, so maybe that's why. I think it's just never really worked out in the cards for us. We would rather go to like Disney World than go on a cruise if we're gonna spend the money. But I told my mom I got a lot of questions about this and was just asking her like, why do you think we haven't gone? And now she's looking up Disney cruises. So thank you guys for that. She's very excited about the possibility of going on a Disney cruise now. Okay, I really like this question. It is, what do you like to do besides the rides in Epcot? Now, Epcot can be kind of a daunting park to plan for because it really only feels like there's a couple rides that you can do and then it's like, what else is there? But I love going to Epcot during a festival because the festival booths are there. You have a lot of food options, but also when they have the festivals, it's not just about the food. They have a lot of different performances and just extra things in the park. Like for Festival of the Holidays, they had different storytellers in each country kind of telling the history of Christmas in those countries. That was really cool. They had a lot of bands and stuff just kind of like hanging out and performing Christmas music. I think it adds to the park a lot. Also, like Flower and Garden, the park is so beautiful with all the topiaries and all of the flowers and stuff that they put in. I love going to Epcot during the festivals because I think it adds so much there. And that's like my favorite thing to do at Epcot, even more so than the rides, is just like kind of checking out all that the festivals have to offer. Okay, next question is favorite mode of transportation at Disney. I'm gonna say the Skyliner. I think it used to be the monorail, but just going on the Skyliner more on the last couple of trips, I love the Skyliner. It's my favorite. It's the best way to travel. It's the most fun way to travel. You usually get to ride with just like yourself and your party, and I think it makes it a little more fun and not as crowded, and I really love the Skyliner. Oh, this is a fun one. Team pretzel or team churro? I am team churro. I don't know if you guys noticed, but lately on these trips we have been doing like a churro and pretzel for breakfast like almost every day with my family, and I'm the one that always gets the churro. The churro is my favorite. I love like the cinnamon sugar in the morning. Now these are not the best snacks at Disney by any means, or even like anywhere near the top of the list, but we've just been doing that. I don't know why. I think if you get a churro like first thing in the morning, they're a lot better than if you get them later in the day, so I'm team churro. Next question is, do you have a first day / last day Disney tradition or plan? We used to have a first day tradition. We used to always go to the parks after we checked into our resort, did a room tour, like we would go straight to the parks. I think that's starting to change for us a little bit. We like to kind of relax a little bit more, but our last day tradition is always to go to Disney Springs, just because we usually are flying like later in the afternoon, so we don't have a full like day to do a park day, but we have enough time to do Disney Springs. And we go to Gideon's, we shop around, we usually eat like a fun breakfast or lunch, and I think that's becoming like one of my favorite things for us to do at Disney. Next, we have favorite Disney activity not inside the park, and this is very general for me. It's just resort hopping. I love checking out the other resorts, the decorations, the food, the snacks. The resorts at Disney are such a fun way to kind of add to your experience, especially like during the holidays. Like the gingerbread house at the Grand Floridian was so beautiful, all the Christmas trees, seeing the decorations. I absolutely love that, and I think resort hopping is very underrated and something that I can almost dedicate a whole day to, and just enjoying like all the different kind of decorations and stuff. So that would be my biggest thing. Do some resort hopping, explore other resorts. You might find one you want to stay in one time. So I think it's so fun. I love resort hopping. Quickly on these last couple of questions, favorite gift shop on site, it's going to be Creations in Epcot. It's bright, it's beautiful, I love it. And then World of Disney at Disney Springs. I find everything I need there. Like this shirt, I was looking for it all throughout our trip, could only find it in like an extra small or like a 3XL, and I found it at Disney Springs in the size I wanted. It was easy. I can always rely on World of Disney, so love that one. That's probably my favorite one by far. Next question is favorite time of the year to go. I'm gonna get really specific here. It is the first week of December or the first week of May. December, you have all the holiday decorations. It's not as crowded. I absolutely love that time. It's usually not as hot. First week of May, you get a little bit higher temperatures, but you have the Flower and Garden Festival. That's so beautiful. Crowds are pretty good, and you usually get a lot of sunshine. Like this trip that we went in May, it was really sunny like every day. I don't think we encountered rain like whatsoever. So I think I really like those 2 times to go, and I've gone lots of other times. Those are just like my favorite, just thinking back on our trips. Next question is, would you ever consider DVC? Yes, I would consider DVC. I've just never really looked into it enough. It's very very complicated and confusing to me. My sister Madison has looked into it a good bit, so maybe I just need her to kind of talk to me about it a little bit. I love the idea of DVC. I just think right now for me, like renting DVC points is my best option. So that's what I'm gonna stick with, but I'm never gonna say that it would never happen down the line. I just think for right now, what we're doing kind of works for us. Okay, and then the last question, you guys always ask this in my Q&A. It is, when is your next trip to Disney World? When are you going back to Disney? When are the next Disney vlogs? And I actually have an answer for you. So we actually just booked a trip today for Disney World. It is for next December. I'm gonna be going with Bryce, my mom, my dad, Madison, and my uncles. Really excited. It's kind of like an extended family trip, and my uncles have never been to Disney World before. So I think it's gonna be really fun to kind of like take them around Disney, like plan the trip for them. Like there are things that we think they're gonna wanna do, some of our favorite things. I'm so excited for this trip, guys. I think it's gonna be really fun too to show you guys the planning process of how to plan a trip to Disney with multiple families or for someone going for the first time. I think it's gonna be really great, and I cannot wait to give you guys some more details about that trip, but I'm so excited. And then as far as any other trips, I know that's like a year away, but I am gonna try to get back to Disney World or Disneyland this year, probably like in the springtime. I have no plans yet. I'm just gonna have to kind of see what works with my schedule, but I definitely want to get back to Disney World or Disneyland to have some more vlogs for you guys and just to experience Disney, because I definitely have the Disney blues since leaving that last trip. I think we had so much fun at Disney during Christmas, and I'm just missing it a little bit extra this time. So that's gonna do it for our Q&A. I just want to thank you guys so much for all the love and support you've shown me on this last trip. We had so much fun doing these vlogs for you, and you guys seem to really like them as well, and that makes me so happy. I love sharing our Disney journeys with you guys. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Be sure to like this video if you haven't already and subscribe down below so you don't miss the next one. And I can't wait to see you guys real soon. Bye!